All right, I think we'll probably go ahead and get started here if that's all right. We've got some attendees hopping on still, so thanks for your patience while we get everybody logged in and set up. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Town of Estes Park's Power and Communication Division and Trailblazer Broadband, I'd like to welcome you to the Downtown Business Construction Plan virtual meeting session. At this time, I'd like to ask that you all place your microphones on mute. We'll go ahead and run through the whole presentation and then open up for questions and answers at the end. If you'd like to ask any questions, please go ahead and use the toolbar at the top to either raise your hand or go ahead and type your question in. And at the end, our moderator will share those after the end of our presentation. Be sure to note that if you cannot see our full screen, there are viewing tools at the top of your toolbar that allow you to adjust your view. So thank you for that. My name is Kim Smith. I'm the Customer Experience Manager here at Trailblazer Broadband. And the main presenters with us today are Linda Svoboda, the Town of Estes Park's Utilities Project Manager, and Jill Lockhart, Line Superintendent for the Power and Communications Division. As I mentioned today, we're focusing on sharing the main construction plans over the next few months to bring the Trailblazer Broadband's main service lines into the downtown area so that we can begin offering individual businesses service sometime at the beginning or the first quarter of 2021. For those unfamiliar with Trailblazer, we are the community-owned and locally operated internet service provider bringing Estes Valley community the only one true gig symmetrical internet service delivered over fiber optic lines directly to your residences and businesses. As many of you may now be aware, Estes Park's Power and Communication Division is building out an entirely brand new infrastructure to deliver this service to our customers. And as you can imagine, to complete a project of this magnitude in our unique terrain and location, it takes time. Trailblazer is nearly a year into the build out, with the project in total spanning over the next 3 to 5 years. And as we move through the project, we are rolling out smaller sections at a time, one of those main sections being the downtown business area. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Project Manager Linda Svoboda to share the overview of the downtown project area. Linda?
Thank you, Kim. So this next slide, I want to give you just an overview of the timing of the project. We plan to start the project in very late September. Our target date to start is September 28th, and we plan to have our infrastructure completed by Memorial Day of next year. Our goal is to minimize any disruption and any inconvenience to the businesses and visitors in the downtown area, and we will return the area to previous conditions. I want to take a moment here to define what the construction area is. Basically, it's both sides of Elkhorn Avenue from Kind Coffee all the way up to the water wheel. And today's presentation will mainly focus on the south side of Elkhorn Avenue due to it being the underground portion of the work, and that has more disruption potential than the overhead work. In addition, we will do the north side of the street of Elkhorn Avenue. Most of that is overhead construction, and it's far less disruptive during construction. Basically, you'll see bucket trucks in the area along our existing power lines because that's where our fiber lines will go. Could you move to the next slide, please? Joe and I have spent a lot of time pre-planning this portion of the fiber build out. We looked at paths throughout, options that we could take on our trenching work. We first reviewed our underground construction because it is more time and labor and more disruptive than our overhead portion of the work. We chose to construct underground during our off season. We recognize that there's things we'll do for the weekend, and I'll get into that in a little bit. We chose to go along the Riverside path in lieu of the Elkhorn Avenue, the street side of the path, mainly because CDOT would require a lane closure. We thought that that would be more disruptive to the businesses to have a lane closure right downtown Estes Park. Again, the north side of Elkhorn will be constructed, in the winter months to spring. And I have the wrong note. I apologize for that. Could you move on to the next slide, please? Again, we chose the off season. We realize that the fall is busy on the weekends, and so we plan to have accessibility at all times. And to do this, we're going to limit the sidewalk closures to the middle of the week. And then by noon on Friday, we will have the sidewalk open. And we're going to go, when I say sidewalk, I'm talking about the Riverwalk sidewalk along the riverside. We will have the sidewalk open by noon on Friday, and we hope to have each section done at a time. And if we're not done with one section, we're going to plate it so that people will be safe to be able to use the sidewalk on the weekends. Our goal is to move from one section to another and not to have to backtrack to other sections, and we're going to be cleaning up as we go. Could you move on to the next slide, please? There are three, there are three main phases to this project. They are further broken down into sections, and we're going to get into that detail in a little bit here. Each section is approximately 250 feet long, and the duration of each section is approximately somewhere between 1 to 2 weeks long. It depends on where the section is along the Riverwalk. We've selectively chose where the trench is located. We're going to try to utilize the edge of the Riverwalk or the path next to, or excuse me, we're going to try to trench as near as we can to the path and up next to the Riverwalk side, not the business side first. That's our first choice. And then there will be some locations that will have to go right into the Riverwalk pathway. And in those locations, we're going to carefully remove the pavers, we're going to number them, and we will replace them in their original location. And we're going to do that section by section. We're not going to open up the whole pathway and then replace the pavers, but we'll do it per section as we go. The goal is to return each section to its previous condition or better. The next slide, please. Our timeline, and this is a general timeline. We're going to start, like I said, September 28th in the first week of October, and we should have the south section of Elkhorn done with the infrastructure by the end of the year. The rest of the work we have is across the street on the north side, and that work will start this fall or winter and will be completed by the spring. Also would like to point out that as well as doing the downtown core area, part of the cabinet area includes the Stanley Village area, the upper and lower Stanley. So we'll be working in that area also and building our infrastructure. That area construction is a trench work and underground, but it's not as invasive. We think that we can do most of our infrastructure there in the grassy areas and back of house. But I did want to let all of you know that we will be doing that work concurrently. Again, we plan to have the infrastructure completed by Memorial Day, and then we will roll out service availability to all the businesses in 2021. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Joe Lockhart, who will explain our phases in detail and share some maps with you.
Hello, thanks, Linda. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the phase 1 construction. We're going to start this project on the east side of Elkhorn, near the Kind Coffee restaurant and coffee house, and then we'll be working towards Casa Grande, towards Riverside Drive. The timing on this would be late September to October. We call this phase 1 with 4 sections. Each section is going to take roughly a week. And again, we'll be buttoned up at the end of the day on Friday. We'll make sure everything is safe for the public. The first section that we'll be working on will be from Kind Coffee to Sticks and Stones. And then the second would be Mary's Janes to Brownfield. Third would be Brownfields to Caldwell Banker. And the fourth would be from Caldwell Banker to Riverside. Of course, all of this is weather dependent, but we feel that we can keep on schedule and make sure we clean up and complete all of this within 4 weeks in the first phase. Could we go to the next slide, please? Here's a map of what we call our phase 1. We've broken down the sections here. You might see those little green boxes are what we are planning on putting vaults. They'll be flush mounted to the ground. And we're also going to trench up to the building, to the edge of the buildings. That way our construction will be complete and we should not have to be trenching in the summertime when it's our high traffic season. Go ahead, skip to the next one, please. Phase 2, this location starting on Riverside and going up to Moraine. The approximate timing of this is going to be through the month of November. It's more of the same. We'll be back in the plaza back there and trenching along the buildings. We've divided this area up to 3 different sections, and of course this is also weather depending, since this will be late fall, early winter for us. Here's a map of phase 2. You can see how we divided into 3 different sections. We also plan each one of these sections should take a week long, and we'll also make sure we're buttoned up on Friday afternoon before any tourists come up or any public will access this area. Next slide, please. Phase 3, this location is from Moraine Avenue to Grandpa or Highland Store. This will be going down Weast Drive, Weast Drive there, or Weast Lane. Approximate timing for this area would be mid-November through the end of 2020. Some of the sections are still a little bit determined. We're trying to figure out what is the best way to stop or where the best location to stop. This is kind of a unique area. It's not the same as the Riverwalk. All of Weast Drive or Weast Avenue is concrete, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. And there's a lot of parking areas to decide where we put our vaults to supply those stores. But we feel like we can still knock that out and make our timeline by the end of 2020. Next slide, please. You can see the map there of going down Weast Drive. At this time, we are choosing to go down the sidewalk area in the kind of the grassy area, or where you'd see the plants or the flower boxes. And we would come across Weast Drive at an angle to follow the kind of the design of the concrete of Weast Drive. And then we'd come across to the back when we cross the road, and we'd go back along the sidewalk heading west. We figure this will take us 3 weeks, and each section would be 1 week. And again, we'll button this up. But this is a little bit different than the Riverwalk. I feel like this should go a little bit faster and a little bit easier. Next slide, please. So the north side of Elkhorn is completely different than the Riverwalk. We've already built out this type of construction all over Carriage Hills or down Fish Creek. Very, very routine for us. This is the north side of Elkhorn. We feel like approximate timing of this would be going with the same as the Riverside construction or the Riverwalk construction. And we'll have approximate timing would be 2021 for service by Memorial Day in that area. We can have a separate crew working on that while the other crews are working on the Riverwalk. The construction in this area is mainly overhead. We follow the power lines. There are some underground out there, so if you see where the power line goes underground, the fiber will also go underground. All of this, of course, is weather dependent, but we feel strongly that we can meet all of our schedule and no issues. I believe this is my last slide, and I'll give it back to Kim. Well, I can talk about this map too, I guess. Yeah, so this is what we call the north side of Elkhorn. All of this is overhead. You can see back there in Cleve Street, the power line follows behind all the stores and restaurants on the south side of Cleve Street, and then it goes across Bighorn Avenue and heads over towards Bond Park. We feel we can feed all of those and have all of that done by Memorial Day. Now I think I'm done. So thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Back over to Kim.
So what happens next? So as we mentioned, the project will begin in late September. And about mid-September, representatives from Trailblazer and Power and Communications will begin approaching our businesses door to door as we roll out each section to answer any questions specific to your location and your business. In the meantime, we encourage you to visit our website, trailblazerbroadband.com, for more information. There you can find ongoing project updates for the downtown area as well as throughout the Estes Valley. You're also encouraged to register your information with us and to contact us with your specific questions regarding your service needs, such as cost and so on, specific to your individual business. We'll be happy to get back with you so that we can provide you with the information to fit your unique business needs. So on behalf of the Estes Park Trailblazer team and the Power and Communications team, I would like to extend our thanks for your patience and understanding as we build out this infrastructure to provide you with true 1 gig service to all of the downtown businesses. So at this time, I will ask our moderator, Carla Sterling, to open it up for any questions. Carla?
Thanks, Kim. It is open for questions. Currently, we do not have any open questions or raised hands.
Well, while we're waiting for people to raise hands and so on, I will reiterate that all of our information can be found at our website, trailblazerbroadband.com. Also, you're welcome to contact our customer service line, 970-577-3770, to answer any of your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. There's also a contact us form through our website. You're welcome to shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you that way.
Okay, we do not currently have a question.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we covered everything for you today. And again, thank you for your time. This material will be recorded and uploaded to the Trailblazer main construction page for your reference. So please feel free to share this with your neighbors and friends.
Okay, Kim, we do have a question. What other ways will you be keeping residents informed when they are serviceable? Example, for seasonal residents.
So on an ongoing basis through our marketing program, we do share periodic emails to folks who have registered in our UNMS system. So again, we encourage everybody who might be interested in getting some updates or feedback to please register your information. That is done by visiting our website, again, trailblazerbroadband.com. You can find there a register to stay informed link, And we just ask for your basic contact information so that we can contact you and let you know what's going on in your area. As we roll out service areas throughout the valley, one at a time, we do extend a personal invitation for you to sign up for service when service becomes available. If seasonal residents go away and get those emails while they're gone, please feel free to reach out and contact us at our customer service line, and we can work through those processes with you.
All right, and we do not have any more questions at this point. Okay, there is another question now. Will there be free public Wi-Fi in the downtown area when phase 1 is complete?
There is currently free public Wi-Fi offered at Bond Park and at the Town Hall, and that is powered by Trailblazer Broadband. And this construction will not interrupt any of the free public Wi-Fi access.
And at the moment, we do not have another open question.
So while we're waiting for other other questions to pop in, for those of you who are interested in staying informed on the latest news and updates, we also have a Trailblazer Broadband Facebook page where we quite often will post our project updates and things that are going on as we roll out different areas, and certainly as we keep you apprised of the downtown business project. So if there aren't any further questions, we'll give you just a couple of minutes to raise hands or pop a question in the toolbar. Otherwise, we'll get wrapped up and let you go on about your day.
Okay, Kim, we have a question. Will business services be priced the same as residential?
Business services are priced a little differently than residential services. And again, because each business has such unique needs, we do encourage you to contact us so that we can talk to you a little bit about your business and find out which services we can provide that best fit your needs.
Currently, we do not have any open questions.
Okay, well, I think since we don't have any further questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thank you so much for your time and your participation. We look forward to getting these services to the downtown area. And please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions specific to your business. Thanks so much and have a great afternoon.
Good job.